This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
All right, we are back. Yeah, baby. We were actually talking about the Journey concert. I was talking with Al there about the Journey concert at Miami Baseball Stadium with Aerosmith and Bryan Adams and who did I say was Journey, Bryan Adams, and Sammy Hagar. Yeah, there you go. There he is. Alan, did you go to that concert at the Miami Baseball Stadium, Journey, for the Frontiers?
I did not. What year was that? Like mid 80s?
Yeah, 84, 85 or something like that. Yeah, it was like it was like 84 actually because Aerosmith was in their valley and it was right before Run DMC cuz the album that it was Lightning Strikes, it was the Rocks album. And then after that came Run DMC did the Walk This Way thing and then that gave Aerosmith a new life. And then Permanent Vacation came out. Dude Looks Like a Lady. And then Pump after that. And then that's when they, obviously took off again. It was so bad for Aerosmith in that concert that Bryan Adams opened up, then Aerosmith, then Sammy Hagar. Because at that time, Sammy Hagar was at 3 Lock Box and Your Love Is Driving Me Crazy. He was way bigger than Aerosmith at that moment. And then obviously Journey was a monster.
So Aerosmith at what is now called Flaw Live Arena. Great concert, except Joe Perry unleashed a solo song. And my wife and I, 20 years later, still laugh about just how bad the song was. Or something like Shaking My Cage. I mean, it was brutal. But the show overall was really, really good.
Yeah. Well, you're not there to see Joe Perry sing.
No,
it's just one of those jam, dude, and just you're not. We don't need your voice. It's just one of those deals. It's crazy stuff. I had a little fun with Omar with this. Got to have a little fun with you if you can pull it up for me there, Sean. He's already ready with that. Did you see what Madden did as they put their top 10 corners?
Yeah. Oh, I wrote about it actually.
Oh, you did? Oh, I missed it. Well, I hope you ripped him really good. I mean, dude, if he's number 2 or number 7 or number 10, okay, we can have fun with the discussion. How in the hell are you naming 10 corners in the NFL and X is not at least one of the 10? I don't get that one.
Yeah, but technically he's also got an 89, so technically he was tied for 10th. But to me, I wrote basically about where he belongs in the NFL, where he belongs in Dolphin history as at the cornerback position. And to me, in the NFL, I don't know how he's not top 3. I mean, I'll buy Ramsey and Alexander. That's fine. But some of these other guys, I mean, you look at the advanced stats for some of these guys, like Denzel Ward was not impressive. Lattimore, who is a really good corner, had horrible metrics last year. J.C. Jackson's really good, but he's in the X mode of just a playmaker. But for X to not be on that list is, completely ridiculous.
I mean, wow. How do you leave that guy? He might have the most interceptions in the NFL the last 2 years, right? If not, he's number 2.
Jackson's up there. Yeah, Jackson's up there.
Right. I mean, what is he, number 2 or something? Okay, whatever. I mean, how do you? I saw that Darius Butler, by the way, had the best line. He goes, "I didn't realize that Xavier Howard retired. I must have missed the retirement party or something." He put that was a really, really good line. And
then Darius Slay, who's on the list, tweeted like, "I don't know how Howard's not top 3."
Right.
And Slay's was 6 or 7. I don't remember exactly.
Right.
So,
yeah.
The guys know.
Right. You're right. The guys know. They know how good that guy is. And to be able to do what he does and turn people over the way he does, turn quarterbacks over, that I don't know. I just saw that and it was just absolutely baffling. And again, we're just talking about video games and silliness, but it's funny how that video game has just become a part of the culture of football, period. You know what I mean? It's just tied to it.
No, correct. And like it or not, and we really should take these ratings for what they're worth, but they generate a lot of conversation. and I've written about those, and it's like some people are like, who cares? It just meant, well, correct, but guess what? A lot of people care about that. I believe more, like, for example, in the case of Howard, ESPN did its position rankings, talking to, like, it's a survey of scouts, executives, coaches, and players. So to me, that would have a lot more validity, and Howard came in fourth among cornerbacks.
Right. Yeah, I'm with you there. All right. Getting ready for camp on Wednesday. People still want the Dolphins to make more moves. Can you maybe tell them that it looks like they're done for now, unless there's some injuries or something like that? I don't know why people are so tied into wanting them to make more moves.
Well, it's the nature of being a fan. You always want your team to be as good as possible. I'd be surprised if they didn't do anything between now and the start of the regular season or midway through training camp. But I think if they were going to do something for the start of camp, they would have done it by now. I think they need to see where they are. Like in terms of health, as I mentioned before, I think they probably have a good handle of who's going to have to start the camp on PUP. But as far as, for example, the ever important offensive line and what to do there, and especially the center position, I still think they're going to ride with Connor Williams at least for a while longer to see exactly what they have there and whether he can get the job done to their satisfaction.
Do you expect them to rotate Dieter in there just to keep trying, just to kind of keep him fresh and keep him sharp? In other words, not fresh, but keep him somewhat sharp at that position just in case they need him?
Well, no, he'll get reps at center. Whether he's going to get reps with the first unit, I don't see that necessarily happening. If they're going, the idea is to ride Connor Williams, see what we have there. I think they'll roll with it. I don't anticipate, for example, what we've seen in the past, and this is just a hunch that I have, like we've seen in the past, there's been a whole lot of interchanging of guys with units, with positions along the offensive line. I kind of get the sense that this is a coaching staff and a head coach who wants to be more firmed up with what he has and work with those guys until he decides that's not going to work. I need to make a change.
I'm with you there. All right, we got the boys reporting on Wednesday. If there's a concern for you going into training camp, what would it be?
Well, it goes back to the offensive line, and they actually they report Tuesday. Okay. Rookies reported last Tuesday. Veterans.
We don't get access to, because Tuesday they weigh in, do all that crap, and then we come in on Wednesday, right? That's what it is. Is that what it is? That's the deal.
Something like that. Yeah. No, it's got to be the offensive line. I mean, that's the key to the whole thing. I mean, because for the offense to function the way it's going to function, and with all this talk of Hill and Wallen, all the speed they have, and the ability to turn, short passes into long gains and everything feeding off the running game, well, everything is great and dandy, but it doesn't work if the offensive line is not productive, and it doesn't need to be a top 5 offensive line in the NFL. It can't be a bottom 5 offensive line in the NFL. So let's get it to the middle of the pack in the league, and I think we're in business. But until we see what we see, we won't know. And I think our first real good indication beyond what we see in the first few practices is going to be the joint practices against the Bucks, August 10th and 11th, and then the joint practices against the Eagles, who usually have a very, very good defensive line. Those dates, 24th, 25th.
All right. Is there any doubt in your mind that the Cleveland Browns are definitely going to the playoffs now that they're led by Jabroni Brissett and Josh Rosen in the absence of Deshaun Watson? I mean, they have 2 star caliber quarterbacks now that can really lead them to the promised land, correct?
And tell me you're not rooting for something to happen, for all the breaks to go in the direction where Josh Rosen is starting against the Dolphins on November 13th.
I would love it.
Just out of curiosity, for the curiosity factor, and also because obviously it would increase the Dolphins' chances, because unless the dude has really, taken a major stride forward in the offseason, He's looked lost in the NFL. That's the bottom line. He looked like
Yeah.
he's a guy who's out of his element. Here's the other interesting factor, too, mentioning Deshaun Watson. If the suspension comes down at 8 games, Dolphins play the Browns in week 10. Browns have a bye in week 9, which puts it on track for Watson to make his debut after a bye against the Dolphins at Hard Rock Stadium.
All right. Well, that'll be fun for me. I'll have no problem watching Jalen Phillips crush his ass. So that's I'm sorry. He might like that. Tackle him. I'm sorry.
Damn.
What? I'm sorry. I just
no. You went there. You went there.
It was a slip. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. It was a mistake on my part. No, seriously. I mean, the signing of Josh Rosen. Here's the thing. AJ McCarron, brother, they signed Josh Rosen over you. I mean, I personally would have signed AJ McCarron just because he could bring his wife and be in the stands. That alone in itself, improves our stands. AJ doesn't improve our team, but the wife improves the looks in the stands. So I'm just saying, you know what I mean? In the amongst of dogs, you can bring in a babe. So that's probably what does that say about AJ McCarron that Josh Rosen beat you out?
Says the market for quarterbacks is pretty bare. That's what it says. No offense to either guy, but yeah, that's rough.
By the way, I still think that the commissioner is going to say, "Oh, you got 8 games, great, no problem. We're going with a year." I still think they're going to do. I think the commissioner is still going to go much higher than the 8 games when it's all said and done. What do you think?
I don't know. I'd have to think back to cases where the league actually appeals the ruling of an arbitrator. That I think would be a new one for me. It'd be more the other way around, where Watson might appeal to get it down as opposed to Goodell or the NFL appealing to get it back up. But no, I think if the arbitrator rules 8 games, I think it's going to be 8 games, to be honest with you.
Well, to me, that's come on, man. That is that enough in your eyes? Is that a good look for the league?
Oh, again, I'd have to look back at all the precedents, compare it with what other situations have occurred. I mean, right away, if you compare it to, was it Calvin Ridley got a year for betting on one game on DraftKings?
Yeah,
that's a rough one.
Yeah. Well, that one, I mean, they warn you plenty of times with that one on the betting stuff. So it is what it is. That one,
they also warn you not to get accused by more than 24 women of sexual misconduct.
Well, it's not really in the rules. They just tell you don't break laws. It's not really telling you, hey,
personal conduct. It's not specified in the personal conduct. It's kind of assumed, though.
Yeah, I know, but they still have to tell you don't bring guns on the plane. And, you really don't have to tell me. It's not like, oh, I forgot it was in my bag. I love that one. It's a beautiful thing. By the way, bad news here. A CT scan, Craig Mish reports, on Marlins all-star second baseman Jazz Chisholm has revealed a stress fracture. Sources tell him and Jordan McPherson the timetable on this injury is approximately 6 weeks. These guys can't score runs.
I was going to say, that's okay. They have plenty of offense to make up for his absence.
Oh, my God. Yeah. No, what I was thinking is they just need to, trade for Juan Soto. Do you realize Juan Soto's asking for a contract that's worth more than half of the value of the Marlins?
I know.
Because they're like at $950 according to Forbes. He's asking for a $500 million contract.
And, dude, I'm all for guys getting what the market bears, but I don't know about you, but it's offensive to me when somebody turns down, what was it, 12 years, $440 million. Sorry, we're insulting you with that offer. I mean,
I know.
Jesus.
I wonder if it's just that he doesn't want to stay in Washington. I'm just wondering that. Is it really, because it's hard to turn down those kind of guarantees. Now, then again, maybe we're not so much insulting him, Alan. That's the way we look at it, because you and I will never be in that stratosphere. In his eyes and his agent, he's going to get his money from somebody anyway. So I don't want it from them. I want it from somebody else. I want to play somebody. So I'm just wondering if that's because it can't be really, oh, no, I need 470, not 440. Oh, I need 500. I can't really believe that that's what it's all about. You're going to get your money either way. I kind of feel that it's a Nationals thing right now. I don't know. Maybe that's just me.
He's also got Scott
Maybe he's seen what's gone on the last couple of years, and remember that extension will be on top of the 2.5 years that he has left.
No, correct. But unless I'm mistaken, Scott Boras is his agent, and Scott Boras is going to squeeze like every juice out of every penny. So I think he may think he can get more. Yeah, it's a great offer, and he can get more. And when I say when I make fun of turning down the offer, I'm talking from the perspective of a layman. I preface it by saying, yes, I understand, guys. I don't begrudge guys for getting what the market bears. But it's rough again as an everyday guy to see somebody turn down that kind of money, you know.
Yeah, it is. All right. Follow him on Twitter at Poupart NFL. Catch his work there at alldolphins.com for Sports Illustrated. You better bookmark that page, Dolphin fans all around the world, so you can keep up with Alain and his coverage. And it heats up next week, baby, as camp opens up
finally
on Wednesday. Yes, thank God. Finally, man. We need this, bro. Marlins aren't giving us enough during the summer here. We definitely need it in a big-time way. Alain, have a great weekend, my friend. Thank you for taking some time. As always, we'll catch up next week.
You got to have a great weekend yourself.
Thank you, sir. There you go. Alain Poupart and our Sports Grill Miami Dolphins report. Don't forget, Sports Grill is hiring in their locations in Doral now. That's coming up. And what's it called? Miami, up in Bird Road and 114th, and in Miami Lakes. They're hiring all kinds of positions. So if you're looking for work, Sports Grill in Doral, Sports Grill on Bird Road and 114th, and Sports Grill in Miami Lakes. All three locations are hiring hostess, cooks, servers, managers, you name it. They're hiring at Sports Grill. Check it out.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.